Good? We're on live. Welcome to the Yes Show, a special episode. Jerry Lococo is out today, so I have a special guest, which is Ada Arvizo. Thank you for joining us on short notice, Ada.
Thank you.
And today we're going to talk about something that's very that we're living right now.
Yeah.
And before we did this, we heard different advice. Do it, don't do it. Should you do it? Should you not? And that is working with your spouse. And I know that we've been doing this now for about 3 months, and where we're all in and we're working together. We're working a mortgage business, and the real estate market. You know, it is a stressful business. People are depending on you, and sometimes it could get heated. But in particular, we want to share with you and give you some insight, whether it's your own business, whether it's working together on any project. I know that you've heard different stories, whether you should or you should not do it. So we want to give you some insight, and we want to give you a little bit of hands-on experiences that we have had, and we're going to get started. Oh, and first off, it is Father's Day weekend. So it is Father's Day weekend, and I hope that everybody enjoys their Father's Day. I know that here in Yuma we're gonna hit like
117 most likely on Sunday or Monday.
Wow! So I know probably 50% of the population is heading to San Diego this weekend.
Which will be about 89 over there.
Yeah, I know that Jerry is out north on some cool weather. So let's get started with this.
Okay.
Now with our history, I want to talk a little bit about that.
Sure.
How long have we been together?
18 years.
18 years, and it seems it just flies by. For those of you younger people, when they say, somebody older like us says, hey, enjoy it because it goes by quick.
It does.
It does. My goodness. I know that in the blink of an eye, 10 years goes by. Mm-hmm. So we started dating, and we were in the mobile home industry. And we're in the mobile home industry, and you were in the title department with the lender, with the bank.
I was doing titles.
Yes, and I was really ambitious. I was managing a mobile home dealership, and long story short, very long story short, I was very persistent in getting that first date. Would you say?
Yeah, it took almost every day for 2 months.
Almost every day for 2 months.
Yeah.
So lesson number 1, persistence prevails. So that's something that we'll talk about on another show. But then after that, we manufactured homes went downhill, and then we met a gentleman, or I met a gentleman who pulled up in a BMW. Very inspiring to me, and I had to ask him, hey man, what do you do? I want to be like you. He was all suited up, nice tie and suit and everything. So he ended up mentoring us, and he was a business owner and managed funds and mutual funds and planning and life insurance and things of that nature and wealth, and got involved with that. And actually, Ada, you helped with that as well. You were becoming successful with that as well. So we worked together a little bit then, mm-hmm. and it wasn't easy, right? It wasn't easy. So and we were a lot younger then.
We were.
Yeah. So we learned from those mistakes, mm-hmm. and then after that, 9/11 hit, and nobody was investing, and then we got into the mortgage business. The same gentleman, same mentor. He was always looking ahead, and we learned a lot from him. And he said, hey, we're going to get in the mortgage business, opening up a mortgage business. Come join the team. Did that. Things were starting to look good, and then my mother became ill, and that's how we came back to Yuma. Again, we were just dating at the moment, and Ada picked up and left and came with me to be with my mother, which, again, there's not a day that goes by that I'm not so thankful for for those hard times, and it was
gonna make me cry.
it was horrible, and I hope nobody ever experiences that. But on all that, there is a light at the end of the tunnel, no matter what circumstances you have. But we decided to stay.
Yeah.
You know, mom passed, and you know, unfortunately, my dad passed, and still have a brother here. But we did have opportunities to go back to Phoenix, Tucson area, and because as a lot of spouses come here, they don't want to live in Yuma. Did you want to live in Yuma when you first came?
No, not at all.
Not at all. She says, I don't want to live here. No, this is not for me.
Exactly.
Yep.
Yeah, but it was, you know, at the time, if I can share this, at the time when we were in Tucson, I was working. That's when I first started interpreting.
Mm-hmm.
And we were also doing that business on the side, which, just a side note from that, what I learned from that business is that anything is possible no matter what age. And coming back to Yuma topic, it was just one of those things that I knew at that moment we needed to be here for your mom.
Yeah.
I just knew. But I can't talk more about it because I'll start crying. But
Yeah. But it grew on you, right? Yuma grew on you. So again, we had we could have went back. There's probably more opportunity back then, business wise, but really, it wasn't really in the cards to move back. I mean, we felt that this was home and this was a place to raise our family. And
Yeah.
here we are. Fast forward, we have a 12-year-old girl now and 7-year-old boy, and we have rooted back. Well, I have, and Ada is now. I could say officially a human now. So, fast forward. You know, she was working at her company and making really good money. I was, you know, still a loan officer, making good money, and there was a fire in my belly, fire in Ada's belly, and making it simple, she got in a car accident, was not able to work, had a head injury, and then just wasn't the same, couldn't go back to work. Her work was very intense, on the phone all day long, very little breaks, if any, and she decided to leave that. You want to share something about that?
yeah, 14 years in a great business, because it really was a great opportunity. I learned a lot from every call that I had to interpret. But I had inside of me somewhere that I kept pushing to the side, that there was something more. And I used to always tell Edward, I think for the past, I don't know how many years, I would say, I want to make sure that by the time I close my eyes for the last time in this world, I never say I should have, because I could have, but I didn't. So there was always this fire inside of me that there was something that I wanted to do, and it wasn't for myself for success exactly. It was to change someone's life. It was to leave a piece of me somewhere, of something that I've learned, and make someone's, even in Tucson, I will tell you, even if I can just help someone's life, one person change for the better, I'm good with that. I just didn't know how to leave such a great opportunity. I mean, it was a great job. I got paid very good hourly. I had free health insurance, free everything, work from home, over the phone. The calls became very stressful, and then after the car accident, I tried to go back, and I just knew back then, which was a few months ago, I just wasn't any good anymore. And with the type of personality that I have to, this sounds bad, I have to kick ass in being the best of who I am for your business and for myself. And I knew when I went back, I was no longer any good for them. And I knew that was it. I was done. But I also take that more as almost like God was telling me years ago, you need to move now. You need to move now. I've put this fire inside of you, but you're not moving. And I was just so comfortable. But I get paid this much. I mean, anyone that I tell anybody how much I get paid, they're like, wow, that's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
So I was comfortable with that feeling.
Sure. Yeah. Comfortable, but then yet there's something inside of you. You're kind of not dead inside, but there's, complacent. There's no drive, no excitement, right?
Right.
Well, boy, do we have excitement now, right?
Every day.
So now, okay, you leave a high-paying job. I have a fire in my belly where I think I can make a bigger difference. I know I can make a bigger difference on my profession, and we jump all in and start this new project, and kind of by accident, because we didn't design this. This was, things happen in life, and you have to, what they call, improvise and make things happen, make things work. And I had this light bulb say, hey, I think you would do awesome with me in this, and it would be just a compliment to the business. And I kind of just threw you in. Of course, you agreed to it because you were kind of excited about it. And I did get opinions from different people and people that were in the line of work, who work with their spouses. You get to meet different people around the country mm-hmm. that do the same thing as you, as one does, and then you want to get that influence, and you want to get their take on it. So honestly, the opinions with working with your spouse, when it gets to the level of the percentages, it's right 50-50. So it's not a fit for everyone. However, I will tell you this. Now, in my industry particularly, I was interviewing different people who work with their spouses, and of all the people who were happiest, their spouse was working with them, which I found very interesting.
Wow.
And now, again, we've been at this for about 3 months, and I can honestly say, look everybody in the eyes and tell everyone that I am happier working with you than beforehand.
Thank you.
But it's not all fluff. You will have some downtime, and let's go through this real quick. So the number one things that you'll hear, hey, should I work with my spouse or not? Number one thing that you would hear, well, if you're gonna see them all the time, you're not gonna want to see them when you're not working. That's the number one thing. Okay. How do you feel about that? Do you get tired of being with me if you're with me all day? Just give the viewers some insight on that.
The real answer? Just kidding.
No, sugarcoat it. No, just
I'm
kidding.
just
Yes,
kidding.
be raw. Be yourself.
Be who I am. I say how it is. Sorry.
Yeah.
Actually, I don't get tired. I don't get tired because we're just so focused on making it, on doing it, on making it happen. And no, I don't get tired. I was just asked yesterday, actually, I won't say the name, but I was just asked yesterday if there were times where, have I felt like choking you yet? And I'm like, nope, not yet. But I also, if I may give an advice to a spouse out there, you really have to change your hats. Because I'm your assistant, mm-hmm. I take that job seriously, where I know I want to make it with you, but at the same time, I can't, work is work. Mm-hmm. So I have to look at you as he's the leader. If he says, I need you to get on the phone and do, okay. Because if you take the attitude of, I am your spouse, yesterday we had an argument, let's just say that's as an example, into your
And it
business
has
hours.
happened, that it has. We have had arguments, disagreements, if you will, but then the following morning we have to go to work.
You have to put on your work hat on and not your spouse hat on. You can't. I like to look at it like I have my headband of I want to make it with you, but the hat of being at work is much bigger than that headband. So I have to put on that hat of saying I'm at work.
Mm-hmm.
And whatever's personal, we can talk about it after hours, but not during hours.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. So going back to and then just to be clear, once 5 o'clock comes, that hat turns around and then
Go throw out the trash.
She's the boss. Yeah. Just
throw out the
kidding.
trash.
It's not that extreme.
Just a little.
So that's just to add to that on the male experience. That was, that was a fear. If you're going to be with your spouse all the time during work, does that spark or that the husband hat? Do you not want to do it? And the answer to that question is no. It's actually the opposite, because the business, you're so focused on the business that actually you want to spend free time with your wife as free time, not talk about work, spend quality family time. And at the same time, there's something in your mind and your spirit that you have this, as far as I'm concerned, you have this closer connection because your spouse knows what you're going through at work. Yeah. There's no question mark right there because you're in the thick of it. Both of you are in the thick of it. Mm-hmm. And before, and I see this a lot, especially in the real estate industry, is a lot of people think that realtors don't do anything. Same thing with mortgage loan officers nowadays, because a lot of mortgage loan officers, their number one thing is bringing in the loan. So you court these real estate agents, and you would think that all you do is go out to happy hours, you go out to lunches, and you just have fun. Well, I'm here slave driving, doing a 9 to 5 or what have you. You have no comparison of what I go through. Mm-hmm. But now that is not the case. Maybe that's the appearance on the outside looking in, but inside there's a lot of stuff that goes through these transactions. Mm-hmm. So going back to my point is that now there's an appreciation, and it could be vice versa, because when I would be at home and my wife used to do the interpreting, I had no clue. See, my mindset was like, man, I'm out there slaving, trying to get these sales, and you're just there in your pajamas working from home. Man, you have it nice. But it's not the case. Mm-mm. People just have these perceptions no matter what it is. Mm-hmm. So putting that together, we're both in the thick of it. She knows now that what the mortgage process is and how it's not what people perceive it being. A lot of things happen behind the scenes. But then when we turn that off and we say, okay, we're going to spend an hour together, we do that. Mm-hmm. But then we appreciate what one another has done. Mm-hmm. So that's good. Anything before we move on?
You actually hit a point that it's very, very true, because as you looked at it as you're in your pajamas or in yoga pants interpreting just over the phone, and once you log out, you're logged out and that's it. In my mind, I was thinking, you have no clue. You're in an office, you can take a break whenever you want. My breaks are set. People who do interpreting over the phone, and I have a friend who is on my Facebook page, she can say, we're constantly, ding, ding. I mean, it just keeps ringing, keeps ringing, keeps ringing, keeps ringing. There's no off time. You gotta be on top of your game every single time. And many times when you interpret, if you're interpreting for the businesses that we were interpreting, it was always sad. Bad news, accidents, emergency rooms, hospitals. You could have been interpreting for, an attorney. It was very difficult phone calls. And in my mind, I was thinking, well, you get to step out, you guys get to have jokes, you guys get to joke out loud. Everything with me has to be very quiet and just this little room, and I can only look down and take notes, and that's it for 8 hours plus. So I think that topic that you hit, that where now I appreciate more of your day, I do, because I see now. It would have been the same if you would have done what I did. You would have said, no wonder she's so exhausted after 8 hours. It's just this phone keeps ringing. So to be there with your spouse one-on-one, I think it's nice. I think what I like that we do is that once we shut down, we shut down. And that's so important, because I feel the stories that I hear is he says he'll shut down, but he doesn't. She says she's done, but she's not. So I like that we take that seriously. Like, our weekends are our weekends. If it's an hour at the movies, it's an hour at the movies. You know, whatever it is. If it's 3 hours, 4 hours with the kids, it's 3 to 4 hours with the kids. Focus. I put my phone down. It's focus, unless I'm taking pictures.
Yeah.
But which I do that a lot. But go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, that's fine. This is all unscripted. We're just being raw here. So that's great input. Let's touch on that. You said when we shut down, we shut down. Well, I want to correct you there. You shut down. You are on an assistant position. I never shut down. But do I neglect the family?
No.
Would you say I'm a workaholic? Do you
Yes
be
and
honest?
no.
Okay.
Yes and no, but it's a good workaholic. Like, I've heard stories of people that are workaholics, and it's almost like they keep going, and their family's just waiting. Where there are other workaholics where they have ambition, they know that they're going to make it, but at the same time, you have fun with Aiden. You play wrestling with Aiden. You go and you joke around with Giselle. You do things with Giselle. So yes and no, you have that ambition, but you're not the bad workaholic.
Right. And then those of you who have been following us for the past year, we hope that we give you encouragement as far as businesses and just great advice in general. Those of you who have followed us know that we say, hey, when you're starting out, when you're starting a business, be obsessed about it, put all your effort into it, and then make sure that business takes off. One of the things that I wanted to bring that up is because when you're starting something, it's not that you're neglecting the family, but like, I'll answer my phone almost all the time, other than this show, because we time block this show. I'm constantly answering my cell phone, and I will answer it as long as I'm up and available. I will answer it, but at the same time, my kids are with me. Like, our kids are here right now. They're right there on the couch. They're experiencing this with us. They know we involve them in everything. They know that, hey, we have to put all this effort into the business, so then we can be rewarded. And going back to that's another subject, but which is a pro, which it kind of segues into it. So let's talk about that. Is the positive part about doing something with your spouse, and it's something where it's a business or a commission based, and you do it with your spouse, and you're depending on that commission, you're depending on that business, you're depending on that restaurant, and it's a family thing. Everything is so focused. That's one thing that I have noticed. Because one of the other things that I would get is, well, man, if you're with your wife all the time, when are you going to be able to joke around with the guys? When are you going to go out and have a cocktail? Or when are you going to go, you can't, sometimes you tell jokes that when your spouse is not around or whatnot, and that's cool, because women need their women time, guys need guy time. But one of the things is, I still do that, but not when I'm focused at work. When I'm in work mode, I focus on work. And I love this analogy. I know I've said it before, but I'll say it again. It's the analogy of the pig and the chicken for when they go out to breakfast, or they're part of breakfast, right?
Remind me that one.
Okay, so the chicken is interested in breakfast, but the pig is committed. You don't get it?
I don't get it.
Okay. The chicken, you have eggs for breakfast, right?
Okay.
It lays the eggs, so it's interested. Yeah, I'm interested in this business. I'm gonna try this out, see how it works. But then I have this other, I have all this other money in the bank, or I have another job, another full-time job. I'm gonna, you're like the chicken. Here's some eggs for you. Yeah, it kind of hurts a little bit. I put some time into it. But we're the pig, because the pig is fully committed. They're all in.
Yes.
They give their bacon. Okay. Cool.
Bleach blonde moment. Sorry, guys.
So we are the pig at breakfast. We're committed. We're all in, because if we don't succeed in this business, we don't eat. We don't pay the mortgage. So that's something that I think it's a good thing, because we're committed and we depend on each other, and that's how we go about that.
Can I say something?
Yeah,
I think that we have a good balance, because even though, let's just say, because in case there are any questions out there, you pick up the phone all the time, and that's fine. And like you said, you shut down because you're the assistant, but at the same time, I shut down one part. I also have another business that I'm starting out, but I just want to make sure that we're different. I want to make sure that we're not the entrepreneurs that the kids later on are interviewed 20 years down the line and say, yeah, my mom and dad did all this, but where were we? Mm-hmm. So I shut down for the simple reason of, I need to make sure that they understand that they're part of this journey, that we are going to work hard for 8 hours plus, but they are part of this journey. I can't, and I refuse, because I used to be this way, where I would go, and think in my mind, the kids will see later why. The kids will see later why. But the kids need to see and experience and feel why right now. And they also need to understand right now, this is their lesson to understand and see you as an entrepreneur, what it takes to make it in life, if that's what they want to do. But they also get to see the other half of balancing, and I'm all into balancing. And I think it's probably just my motherly side, how we're built differently, and that's okay. But I also want them to see you can have it all, you just need to balance life. Like, go full force here, be focused here. If you're at work, be 100% at work. If you are a mother or a dad, be 100% for that hour, 2 hours, a dad or a mom. Be 100% here. Don't say, I'm here, but I'm thinking of. Don't say, I'm over here, but really I'm at. Just be focused. And whenever they talk to me, you've seen me before where I'm like, I sit down and I just really want to look into their eyes and really hear what they're saying, because I want them to really understand that they're the reason why we're doing all this too.
Right.
But I'm sorry, go ahead. I keep throwing it off.
Yeah, quit saying I'm sorry, because this is what this is about.
I say I'm sorry a lot. Have you noticed that? I don't know why.
Well, we all have our trigger words, our comfort words. I say so a lot. I say I'm getting back to kind of a side note. If you want to improve your public speaking, it's very tough, but my roots came and my speaking skills, Toastmasters. So if you want to learn better public speaking, go to side note. Yes, Toastmasters. All right, so we're committed. We know that working together is not always all roses. To end with this,
we got a question.
What is the question?
Who's the Real Boss by Bill Snyder?
Who's the Real Boss by Bill Snyder? The real boss, it depends on the day. It depends on the day. Yes.
All depends.
But yes, it all depends. Just like, go ahead.
Yeah, if it's gonna, who's the real boss? It all depends on the day, because We have, if you really, and I'm always talking about this with anybody, if you ever take a DISC test by Anthony Robbins, if you take a personality test, you'll understand this. But we both have driver's personalities, and we both have almost the exact personality. The funny thing is, and it's the great thing, is that whenever he's a high driver, I'm lower that day. And when he's lower, I'm more of the high driver. So for some reason, it works out because whenever somebody's like, then I'm, no, we're doing this. That's
But
usually.
from the outside looking in, you wouldn't see that. You wouldn't see that I'm a driver. I'm really mellow, low key. You're more outgoing. But yes, when it comes down to it, on the DISC test, I do have actually a high D. However, there's another plug. It's important to know that, and important to know that if you bump heads with your spouse, hey, it's natural, but there's stuff that you can do to combat that. And that's what, first of all, living together for 18 years, we know our personalities, but then we accept our personalities. And sometimes even at work, especially because you're learning new things, I'm learning new things, constantly learning just to improve. Sometimes we'll have disagreements. But at that time, yes, I am the boss because I know where we want to get to. Going back to involving the family, involving the kids, and involving your spouse. If you're not going to work with your spouse, at least, and we've talked about this before, and you're going to do something, you're going to do a new endeavor, lay out what has to be done, lay out the numbers, lay out the cash, how much cash is it going to take, and then multiply that by 10 because stuff is going to happen that's unexpected. Mm-hmm. But okay, this is what we have to do, this is why we're doing it. If we're not tracking that, then you're just setting yourself up for failure. Mm-hmm. So even the kids know, hey, this is why we're doing it, this is what we have to do, this is according to that, you have to work so many hours. That way your kids are involved too. And that's being back to who's the boss and who's not. We use our strengths and weaknesses with that. I don't know much about social media, okay? But because you do, you're the boss on that. I know that with marketing stuff, you're more savvy than I am with that. Okay, so it kind of complements, right?
Yeah, it does. It does. Yeah, and you have to, sometimes this is going to come across mean girls, but, it seems like sometimes I have to say it. Sometimes girls, we have to learn how to bite our tongues. You just have to, especially if deep in your heart and you don't want to express it, that he is better at one thing and he says, no, it's not going to work that way. Sometimes even if you see that it's going to go all downhill his way, just let it be. Let it be. Just, okay.
Yep.
All right. And
it works with the guys too. It's
yeah, but I think that's where you hit it, where I understand you're better. You have 18 years experience in this business, where I'm starting back again in this business after 14, 15 years. I don't know everything, but I know certain topics and other things that might help you in your business. So that's where we balance each other very well, where I'm like, okay, fine. I do ask a lot of questions. Well, why not? Well, why not? Because I'm always one of those, it could be done, it could be done. But when it comes to certain departments, we understand that one of them is stronger at that and this, and that's where we just basically say, okay, I got it.
Yeah. Great stuff. I haven't even kept track of time. Where are we at time?
Almost
30.
30 minutes. So let's wrap up. Go ahead.
Can I say something
Yes.
real quick? Sorry. If you are not working together with your spouse and you're watching the show and you're thinking, well, we already have our careers, how do we do it together? How do I get to the point where we understand what the other one is going through? Well, communication is a good key. Not only communication, but listening skills. Because you can communicate and shoot out anything out of your mouth, but listening and keeping in is something else that you have to do. Something that our mentor, one of my mentors, gave me as an advice, and it was a great advice, but she said one of the things that you can do is, if you're working in different things, like I have my different business, is write down what the vision is. Put down what the vision is. Every time you have a heated moment, you come back down to say, this is what we're working for. This is where it's at. We're working very hard. We're going through this time right now. It's stressful, but it's because we're working for this. And you go back to that vision board, to that vision that you wrote down. That's what I got to say about that.
That's awesome. That's great way to end it. I hope you enjoyed this episode. We encourage you to follow us, like our page, Yuma Entrepreneur Show. Next week we will continue with our regular programs, but thank you for joining us last minute. Have a great Father's Day. Enjoy your families, and we will see you next week.